Hey everyone, I've been getting a lot of requests lately in messages and on my channel and on comments for me to show what DVDs I have in HD and Blu-ray. So I thought I'd finally do that. And there'll be more update videos about my favorite other type of videos in the next couple of days. But the first DVD I have, I'll show the Blu-rays first, is Ratatouille, which is a Pixar film. A lot of people don't think that animation or CGI would look good or any different on HD or Blu-ray, but it actually does look better. Basically what it does, the sharpness is increased a bit, but what really gets increased is the color. The color is a lot sharper and brighter. That's one of the major things that's different with HD and Blu-ray DVDs than regular DVDs, is the color is a lot brighter. But with like newer movies like Spider-Man stuff, what's really different is the sharpness and how clear it is. It's one of those kind of things, in order to actually believe the difference, you have to really see it. But some people might not be able to tell if they're not paying attention to certain things like that. Alright, the next one on Blu-ray is Spider-Man 3. Then I got House of a Thousand Corpses. I got this at Walmart, surprisingly. Wouldn't have thought Walmart would carry that, because it's a pretty weird, violent film for them. But it's essentially the same DVD as the HD one, but as the regular disc. The features and everything are the same. But the detail in this and the sharpness was actually very good for this movie, because it was actually shot in '99. And, it would have probably been shot on film, because by then they were sort of just still doing film. Now everything's switching to HD cameras, like things like Superbad, or all with just HD. And then I got Terminator 2, which looked alright in HD. Not the best transfer, and none of the features from the Ultimate Edition are on it. It's just a commentary. Meet the Robinsons, which really looked great. Then Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. And the thing that they don't mention the cover is this is the uncut version of the film. They put R-rated, but it's not. It's the unrated version. And then this, I'm not really sure why I got it. It was alright. Hostel 2, I preferred Part 1 a lot better. And I think my favorite Eli Roth film is Cabin Fever, although a lot of people didn't like that movie. I liked it because it was, it was like, Last House on the Left, one of those kind of films. And if you don't like that, you really wouldn't care much about Cabin Fever, because that's basically what it was. It was a film in that style. The next movie is Scary Movie, which looked alright. The color was a little bit like, it looked like it was enhanced too much, and it was a little like the picture was a little smoothed over, weird. It was the weirdest looking picture I'd seen in a Blu-ray. Hairspray, which of course looks great because it's the newest and it's the first new line Blu-ray. The next one's coming out in about a week, and it's Rush Hour 3, which isn't coming to HD DVD for a couple of months because copying issues or something. Then Rescue Dawn, which is their Warner Herzog film, which was great and looked great. This is the kind of film that's meant for HD. Real bright, great atmosphere, in the jungle. A lot of color, that would work. It looks good in HD. This one I bought in Blu-ray just because that was what I could find at the time. And I wanted to watch this in order to do the I Am Legend video that we did. The Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston. This looks alright. It's really grainy in HD. So basically you could probably just buy the regular edition. You won't see a big difference with this. But I haven't watched the regular, but the edition of this is probably one of the poorest I've seen for. It's got so much grain in the picture. But this is a great movie. And if you haven't seen our spoof we did, watch the Don the Last Man on Earth, which we ended up spoofing this movie a lot more than the Will Smith one, because I preferred that one, I would say. Then Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is all available in regular as well, and it has 3 different versions of the movie. The original version, the special edition from the 90s, the special edition from the 80s, and then the director's cut. I couldn't tell the difference, although the main one that I watched first years ago when I first saw it was the director's cut. And the original theatrical version was a lot different, I think. Some of the effect shots were different. So the first one you saw was the director's cut, and that's the one you've seen since that was what came to DVD, I'd recommend sticking with watching that one, because the original was a little long, and certain sequences I know Steven Spielberg said he didn't like, and he couldn't finish it due to money problems at that time, so it's best to watch the director's version. Then Superbad, which I showed in an update a couple weeks ago, I believe. Now, oh yeah, the last Blu-ray is Dawn of the Dead, which looked great. And I buy anything Dawn of the Dead. If they release it a million times, I'm always going to buy it. Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead are two of my favorite horror movies. The remake is a good movie, although I haven't watched it more than once. I watched this one. When I want to watch Dawn of the Dead, I never crave to watch the remake. This is the one I always want to watch. And now on to the HD discs. And I have a lot more of them because I had the player longer. And then I have, the first one I have is Disturbia, which is that, Shia LaBeouf. And then I did that review for this that got on Google TV and millions of people watched it. I wasn't really that positive about that happening, but they refer to us as amateurs. But it's off their site now, so I'm kind of glad about that. The next movie I have is Next, which I never even opened and never even got to watch, so I don't know if it's any good or anything. The next one is Norbert, which looked great in HD. Wasn't the best movie. I like Nutty Professor better for, Eddie Murphy in fat suits. But the more I watch this, I like this. But what's funny about this is it was shot in Warner Brothers Studios lot. They didn't change the set at all. It looks identical to the set, the lot where it always looks. So it was weird. Normally they dress it up and add stuff. They just use it exactly as it was. The next one is Evan Almighty, which is one of the first ones to have those web feature things. But the thing is, we have Wi-Fi, and so we don't have all those cords in the house. So there's really no way to use it unless they make an HD player at some point that has, built-in Wi-Fi. I don't know if they have yet, so I haven't been able to use any of those features. The next one I just bought because I wanted the DVD, and this is what I found first, was Trading Places. Not a big difference on, watching this kind of a movie on HD. It's a really great movie. I watched it years ago as a kid, and then on TV or something, and then watched it again on Blu-ray. HD. Then the next one is Black Snake Moan. I always say Moon for some reason. This one's a great movie. Looks really good. The colors are great. Definitely worth checking out if you have HD. This one uses a cup holder that Return to House on Haunted Hill. It's got a cool feature where you can control what the characters do, and by controlling you choose who lives and dies, and you basically affect the entire outcome of the entire film. The problem is the film was a piece of crap, and it wasn't very good at all. The next one I bought when I first got HD, it's one of the first ones I bought. Don't ask me why out of all the choices, but I've always loved this movie and wanted to see what it would be like in HD. It looked alright. I don't know if it would have got it remastered as good as it could have, because it didn't do so well for the studio, but I always loved Waterworld. And people say, what are your favorite actions? I guess this is considered action. This would be one of the ones I would pick. I remember seeing this in theaters, and I remember my dad was like, at the time, he was like, this is the most expensive produced movie of all time. Now I think it's like Spider-Man 3. Or it might be I Am Legend, because I somewhere said that bridge scene or something was the most expensive scene in film history or something. The next one I have is the Nutty Professor. I haven't gotten the clumps yet. This looks alright in HD. I would have liked if they would have given this some features, because they've yet to give this movie a special edition. All the versions of this one have been featureless versions. They had a trailer at the most. Part 2 got a lot of features. I don't know if they will at some point. I don't want to show the fountain. I got that. I didn't like that. The next one is Clockwork Orange, which was great. All the Stanley Kubrick movies were remastered great. So I have that, and I have The Shining. Both of these are worth getting, and you can get these on either Blu-ray or HD. And the thing with Blu-ray is, more people are going to have Blu-ray because a lot of people have PS3, and anybody can have HD if they have Xbox 360, because you can buy for I think $120, $150, something like that, an attachment. I don't know how it works, but it can make your player play HD. So those are definitely two. Those are that I would recommend the most. And I bought 300. It wasn't one of my favorite movies, but it looks really good in HD. I don't have a lot to say about it though. Next is The Twilight Zone, which I think had a great transfer. I read some people saying it sucked, but I don't know what they're talking about, because all the other versions Well, it had never came to DVD or anything before this, so this was one of the first releases of this movie in years, and the tape was impossible to find. The next one is Deliverance, which is one of my favorite, I guess you could call this an action movie, so there's another action movie. I think you could consider that. And this is a 70s movie, and I didn't know how well a movie from 72 would look, but it looked great. It looked like it was shot, well, let's be safe and say in the 80s, or late 80s, early 90s. We couldn't say it looked like it was from now because it's not that sharp, but it definitely is the best I've ever seen it look. And this looks stunning in HD. This is from the same year, no, a year earlier. I couldn't believe how good this looked. For, a 1971 movie to look, and this actually looked new. This looked as good as the new version. The thing with the new version was it had like some effects done to the people's faces to kind of wash it over a little bit, so it gave it a different quality. The next one I have is Land of the Dead, which really didn't look very different to me. This is George Romero's latest. No, he has the new one coming out, Diary of the Dead, which I'm waiting to come out. That one's worth checking out, but Land of the Dead was never my favorite. The new one sounds like it's going to be good, though. Next one I have is Mr. Bean's Holiday, and this is the British version. And I bought this version because it's the uncensored version. It's a little weird, people think uncensored. Well, it says a few dirty words, and there's like 2 or 3 scenes added in. But it's the true PG version. The version that came out in America was censored. Not really. I saw both versions. I like this one better because it's got a scene of his tie getting stuck in the machine, which was cut, and not even the deleted scenes of the American. So I didn't buy the American. The next one I have is the 40-year-old virgin, and then that does this thing. I was really disappointed with the picture of this. It was real washed out, and I think they released it just to try and make some money with it because at that time Knocked Up was coming out. It looks alright. I would not recommend it, and I wouldn't even recommend the unrated version. I miss the R-rated version. The version I saw in theaters I really liked. Every time they extend those movies, I don't like them as much. They add too much crap in, and they delete stuff that you liked in the theater. So hopefully at some point they would release one with R-rated and unrated. They're doing the same thing with Halloween. Their Rob Zombie one, they're releasing the unrated one. The unrated one is losing a lot of big scenes in it that I like with Bill Moseley and some of those characters that were being cut out. Well, the next one is The Host. This is a Japanese, I believe Japanese, horror film, which looks really good and one of the best looking, sharpest, definitely was shot in HD and intended to come out in HD. Next one is Dead Silence. So I actually never watched again. I may or may not. It's the Salt. Shit. I'm piling everything up. The next one is Knocked Up. And I had to buy this 2 times because I wanted all the features that were on the regular one. This one does not have all the features at all. It has a whole disc of features missing. So I wouldn't recommend buying this one unless you want the HD movie. I'd recommend buying the regular DVD widescreen special edition unrated one because that has all the stuff that was all the features. The next one I have is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is the Tim Burton one, and like we've said before in other videos, it's not a remake, it's a re-envisioning of the story of the book. This one I love, though. I love both of them, and I think I like them pretty much the same. I just saw Sweeney Todd, the sneak preview of it. I'm not going to say what I thought of it because the guy who gave me the ticket said don't say anything about it till it comes out. But all I just say is that, and the review will be up soon on Friday when it comes out. The next one, is it Friday? Whenever it comes out. And the next one is Hot Fuzz. I have this one and I have the 3-disc version because the 3-disc version has features this doesn't. And Hot Fuzz is actually a really good movie. I don't normally like real big mainstream movies that everyone talks about, but that's one I liked. One DVD I'm waiting for in HD, which might not look very better, but I'd like to have it just because I love the movie, is Napoleon Dynamite. I'm also hoping at one point they put Pee-wee. I don't know if they're ever going to do that, but I'd love to see Pee-wee in high definition. And the next one I have is Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell. This is a good movie, not one you want to watch a whole lot. I think Anchorman was one of his best, and Old School, which they're doing a sequel to now. and the next one is Chuck and Larry. So those were all of my HD and Blu-ray. Sorry if it went on long, but what I was requested to do was to sit here and talk about the movies and show them all off. And I didn't want to just hold the camera and go, here they are. Because those videos, I don't know, they're not very informative, and I want to give people an idea of what I thought about all of them. So thanks to everyone for watching. I believe I got about, in the last 4 or 5 days, 100 new subscribers. So thanks a lot to everyone subscribing and watching these, and continue to send your suggestions for videos you want me to do, what you want me to talk about. There's a bunch of suggestions I have that I'm going to be doing. So if you suggest something and it takes me a while to do them, just remember I'm going to get to them, because a lot of times I go through camera tapes like crazy and I got to keep buying them, because I keep all of them in case I have to, find them again and stuff. I don't like to delete them, and I record on HD tapes. I don't record on in a hard drive or anything like that. I like to have the tape. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching and all your suggestions.